Thanks for tuning into The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. As you know, an author named Chris Todd, whose actual name is Todd Christopher Goose, released what he alleged was Kim Porter's unauthorized memoir of her life, which included salacious accounts of incidents that occurred between her and Sean P. Diddy Combs during the course of their relationship and before her sudden death from low-grade pneumonia in 2018. The 59-page book, titled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, was self-published on Amazon under the alias or pseudonym of Jamal T. Millwood. And after it was published, the author claimed that he wrote the book based on Kim's original notes that were found on several USB flash drives that were basically smuggled to him by two Hollywood insiders. Now, Chris Todd, aka Jamal T. Millwood, published the book last week right after P. Diddy got arrested, and it immediately shot to #1 and became a bestseller on Amazon's list of Western U.S. biographies, bringing in over $1 million in sales in its first 5 days of being available for sale. In the book, the author begins Kim's sordid tale by writing, Kimberly Porter, also known as Kim Porter, came into this world in Columbus, Georgia on December 15, 1970. Ambition and regularity, which is spelled wrong, characterized her formative years in the South. Sarah L. Porter, Kim's single mother, brought a strong sense of independence and perseverance into her humble family as she raised her daughter. Kim always wanted to leave her little town behind and do something great in her life, even when she was a little girl. Her ambitions to leave an indelible impression on the world propelled her, and others characterized her as energetic and brilliant. In later chapters, the book goes on to talk about her volatile relationship with P. Diddy, J-Lo allegedly confronting Diddy after he allegedly shot Natalia Rubin in the face during a New York club shooting in 1999, and also claims that Diddy and Al B. Shaw actually had an intimate sexual relationship one night that excluded her. After the book dropped, the memoir's actually explicit allegations about Diddy quickly began circulating on social media amid rampant speculation, misinformation, and memes surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and his looming criminal trial.
Anyway, for those wondering about the tapes that supposedly Kim found, other than like freak off stuff, specifically with men, this book, alleged, I'm gonna say everything's alleged, says it was JB, Usher, and Little Bow Wow. And allegedly, Kim and Diddy had threesomes with freaking J-Lo, with Jada Pinkett, with Will Smith, with Faith, with Jamie Foxx. Like, well, that part made it seem like it was just him and Diddy, but the conversations about Biggie's mom coming up to him during dinner, and just, I hope she never reads this book, because everyone who's named in here, I feel like at least one person should be like, this is BS, or yeah, that happened. Because now more than ever, I don't know what to think.
When discussing the book, the author said, quote, I was lucky enough to meet someone that purported to have Kim Porter's flash drive. I know the celebrity source pretty well and know how close they were to Kim and Diddy and all of the people in the hip-hop community. This was supposedly for Kim Porter from the grave to come forward and tell her story. This is a dangerous situation, and I didn't want to claim ownership of Kim's words. But now, I'm willing to come forward because of the recent arrest of Sean Combs. Now that the federal government has finally acted, I feel safer to come forward. End quote. When asked about the book's authenticity, the author went on to say that he can't guarantee the book's authenticity even after claiming that he received flash drives containing the book from two music industry insiders. But he insists that he believes the book to be true. As a matter of fact, check out what Chris Todd, aka Todd Christopher Goose, aka Jamal T. Millwood, had to say about the authenticity of the book himself.
As for investigating, doing the autopsy, looking at the autopsy closer, okay, I'm open to that. But mainly I'm focused on the memoir.
How do you know for sure it's her words? It's a memoir from her? Because it's in typewritten, right? It's you would say that it was from a computer. How do you know it's from her?
I claim to have solved the two most famous cold cases in history. Okay? So when they came to me, and when I work with any whistleblower or source, I don't always believe them. I don't believe everything they say. I put them through my test. It's forensics. There's a lot of things that I do. Dealing with the sources and the people that I've contacted closely, obviously it's a dark story. It's dangerous. I'm familiar with this. Whistleblowers and sources don't always tell you everything. They don't show you things that are going to trace it directly to them. If you put my feet to the fire and God asked me life or death, do you know it's 100% her flash drive? No, I do not. I prayed on it and I felt I was to take a leap of faith, so I came forward with it.
Okay, so basically he's using a whole lot of words to say that his way of authenticating the book was that he prayed on it. Let's continue.
Some people would say, why publish it if you're not 100% sure?
Well, I also am an investigative producer, an author, I'm a storyteller, and the media in Hollywood, a lot of times, they don't want the truth. So they do projects and stories and unscripted and scripted that are not always completely 100% true. I'm no different than them. I would like to turn this book into a movie or a series, and we're shopping that right now.
What is your overall takeaway? If this is in fact Kim Porter's memoir, what is your takeaway from it?
This is an abused woman telling her story. When I first read the whole thing, I only had a couple pages at first. Now, as for the tapes, I've been told that I can have access to the tapes.
What are the tapes?
The big ones.
You're talking about sex tapes.
Yeah, but with very famous people.
Okay, so talk to us about what you were told about the tapes.
That if I pass the test, I will be the one to do it.
Who's they?
The sources and the people around Kim and Diddy.
With all due respect, why wouldn't they bring that information to law enforcement? Why wouldn't they just drop it in, CNN's or ABC or any other news outlet's mailbox?
If one of the people are underage, I have to, per my attorney, go to the FBI. I'm not going to comment right now if I'm in possession of the tapes or not. So, but to answer your question, these people are scared. And what you're saying, like, well, if they just dropped it off at CNN or they just emailed it, that's not the appropriate way to do this.
You're in a very interesting position right now, and clearly a lot of people are very interested in what you've presented, but as you know, this has been met with criticism. Porter's family and friends say this memoir is a fake. Al B. Shore says it's fabricated, that it's offensive. Reportedly also came out and said, quote, a significant suit headed right for the heads of the responsible parties who dragged my name into this. Porter's friends, Kamora Lee Simmons, LaWanda Lane, told Rolling Stone that they don't know you at all. Lane said every page in that book is false, that Porter wouldn't write a memoir, that she would never write a memoir, that she liked her life to be private. Rolling Stone also reported that a source close to the Combs family says the family is exploring all of their options and saying, quote, the baseless pages in the book not only misrepresent Miss Porter's lived experience and legacy, but also continue to cause unnecessary distress to her loved ones. And her children came out with a statement today on Instagram, which I read before. What's your reaction to all that?
We did $1 million in sales in 12 days. The people want the truth. There's people writing me from all over the world, thanking me. What you just said, I know I'm still reading this stuff. I can't even keep up with it right now. I'd actually have to hire people to read the stuff. We have to think about who these people are talking about. They're possibly talking about the devil. So if they say it's not real, remember who's saying that, okay? A lot of people believe it's real. A lot of African Americans believe it's real. They're telling me, they're calling me. I'm talking to all the bloggers and podcasters because I'm an open book. I talk to the little people. So my point is, I still am assessing what's being said by everybody close. I get it. But this is what happens just like on my other cases. Yeah, they said they didn't do it too. And it turned out to be I was right. So, like I said, this is going to play out. I can't say I'm 100% right this second, but I'm not pulling that book down. Under my First Amendment, my civil rights, I'm not pulling it down.
Are you prepared to potentially be sued over this?
Absolutely, I'm already prepared. And also, let's remember, Amazon, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Okay? I'm sure he's for freedom of speech and also some form of free press. I've been blocked and censored by the media for years, and I'm not going to bring it up. Everyone can do their own homework. It's not happening to me anymore.
So there was a quote from you in that Rolling Stone article where you say, if I'm so hot and my story and project's #1 on Amazon, where is everybody? Where's my agent? Where's CIA? The people I called for 12 years. I'm trying to explain to you this is not about Kim Porter. It's about Chris Todd. And I wonder if somebody could interpret that statement and say, he's taking this and he's saying whatever he needs to say for fame and fortune. It's not about getting the real message out there. It's not about getting Kim Porter's story out there. It's about Chris Todd. What would your response be to that?
I worked really hard to get to this point. And the other case that I did recently, that was supposed to happen like this. That was supposed to go viral, and it didn't. and that's up to God. I don't control that. Obviously, we're here at this moment, and it's probably the biggest scandal story in America right now. I feel that I just work hard, keep my heart and mind open, and I'm kind of guided spiritually. And I will say this, and I don't know how this will come off to people. I have many cases and many victims. My clients are mostly murdered victims or deceased victims. I am the voice of the voiceless, right? Now, what I meant by saying well, that's not about Kim so much, it's about Chris Todd. That's to keep a little bit of a buffer for her, okay? So that everyone's not so focused. And I know also the sources, they know that too. And I'm not stupid. Are these sources playing me a little bit? Maybe, but that's okay. If I have to go through some pain and hardship, if I have to go to court, it's not going to be my first time. And I put out a message to some of the people to get to the lawyers, be careful. Because remember, you're talking about Kim. It turns out that it's Kim's typos and they're her lies. Remember, you're talking about abused woman.
I know this woman went through it being with Diddy for so many years. That is irrefutable. But I don't think Kim Porter wrote this book. This random man named Chris Todd calls himself an investigative producer and says someone in her camp gave him her USB with her diary. Now, I'm not saying she didn't have a diary. I'm not saying she wasn't writing a book, but her friends and family are saying there was no such thing. I'm sure her friends and family know what happened. She went to hell and back for this man. But this random man now has a best-selling, self-published book on Amazon. He's making money off of Kim Porter. Justice for Kim Porter, but hasn't this woman's legacy been through enough without some shady guy making money off of her? Now we know before Diddy, she was with Albie Shore, and together they had a son named Quincy. Diddy was with Misa Hilton, and together they had a son named Justin. They're in the Juicy video together. Now there's a lot of overlapping here, but just a year after Justin was born, Kim and Diddy started dating. Together they had a son named Christian, who looks exactly like his dad. This was in 2008. Not long after, Diddy starts dating J-Lo, and they're all over the place. After J-Lo, Diddy and Kim get back together, and 2006, they find out they're expecting twins. But guess what? Kim finds out while she's pregnant that Diddy is expecting a baby with a woman named Sarah Chapman, who he calls his friend. This is how incestuous the industry is. Sarah used to date Tupac. Okay, let that marinate. So in July 2006, his daughter Chance is born. Just 5 months later, in December 2006, Kim gives birth to the twins, Jesse James and Delilah. And apparently, Kim had enough. They broke up after this, but of course, they're all one big happy family. And not long after, Diddy and Cassie began to date. We all know what happened and how abusive that situation was. Fast forward to the end of 2018, and Kim Porter passes away from pneumonia at the age of 47. Shortly after she passes, Cassie and Diddy break up. And then after all of that, he had a baby with Dana Tran named Baby Love. But what I'm saying is, if this was a true book, I want to hear it from Kimora Lee Simmons. I don't believe Kim Porter wrote this. I think we're putting money in this man's pocket. I think it's disgusting. I wish we could know her true story, and I hope that one day the truth comes to light. But this man's book on Amazon, I don't think this is it.
Alright, so check it out. You guys all know that I keep it real with you, and I'm getting ready to explain to you how this white guy, who purposely dropped the book under a black sounding pseudonym, just duped, hoodwinked, and bamboozled mad people into making him a millionaire overnight. Amazon has a platform called Amazon KDP, in which anybody can publish a book for free. Amazon KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publishing, and it's a platform that allows independent authors to publish a book through their site. All you have to do is log on to their website, upload what you wrote, create a cover using their template, and within hours, Amazon will post the book to their website. Which means that in a matter of hours, anybody can create an author account, upload their book, and sell paperbacks, hardbacks, and ebooks through Amazon without any setup costs. After the book is published, the author receives a percentage of every book sold, and Amazon takes a cut. Don't believe me? Check this out.
You may be wondering, what is Amazon KDP? How do I start? What types of books can I publish? How much money am I going to make from publishing? You can sign up for free, and then you will create 2 PDF files, your manuscript, which is your interior, and your cover file. Upload it to KDP and start collecting royalty.
Now, if you noticed, on the Amazon website, the book about Kim Porter says that it was self-published. So, all this dude did was scour the internet and YouTube, find stories about Kim Porter and Diddy that were shared by Gene Deal, Mark Curry, Tisa Tells, Lovely T, Make It Make Sense, Tiffany Red, etc. Mash the stories into a quick cohesive book, add some of his own fake sauce into it, and then publish his 59-page book, which has a million gazillion typos in it on Amazon. Now, the fact that the book has a zillion typos in it tells you right now that it did not go through a publisher. Alright, so when he uploaded the book on the Amazon KDP, he bumped the purchase price of the book up to $22.04 and most likely selected the option for Amazon to take a 30% cut off the top, which means that this dude made 70% on each book sold, which equals $15.42 per book sold. This means that if he sold 10,000 books within the first 24 hours, this dude just pocketed $154,280 overnight. Now, the reason why you know that it's most likely an Amazon KDP book is because the quality of the book, the bleed of the book margins, the cover of the book, and the gazillion typos inside the book. If he was a so-called professional author and producer who wrote the book, he would have at least had the sense to run the book past the editor or run the book through Grammarly or something. Listen, this is sad because all you have here is a white dude who decided to capitalize off of the tragic death of Kim Porter, who just swindled hundreds of thousands of dollars from consumers, mostly black people, to line his pockets off of a woman who's 6 feet deep in the grave. Now, despite any of the monstrous and horrific actually explicit things that P. Diddy may or may not have done, Diddy's actions have very little to do with Kim Porter, and from what we can tell, Kim allegedly also suffered abuse at the hands of Diddy.
Diddy's ex, Kim Porter, is found dead at 47.
76, rescue 82, cardiac arrest.
How many times did you personally witness him be violent?
Around 4 or 5 times. I seen him inside the car, grab her up. I seen him smack her. Kim got to the point where she fought back.
Then you hear about the fact that he broke Kim's nose? Cassie's story is Kim's story.
So, to run her name through the mud like this to make a quick buck is absolutely atrocious, especially when, from what we know about Kim when she was alive, actually and factually and not allegedly, Kim Porter was a poised, polished, charismatic woman who always carried herself with a sense of self-respect and dignity when she was out in public.
We decided to do the book because for a couple of reasons. Cheryl's an amazing photographer, and she has this amazing, never seen before collection of photos that stem from the last 15 years. I'm not a part of hip hop directly. I'm not a rapper, obviously, or anything like that, but I've been in the business and been around the business, so to kind of see what these guys have done, it's become a phenomenon, it's a culture, it's a, so it's just, for me, I wanted to present something beautiful and package it, and almost like an ode to them, to what they've done.
Okay, so you really expect me to believe that this educated, eloquent black woman who used to be an intern at Uptown really gave you 59 pages of grammatically incorrect trash? I mean, even if the book was based on her notes, Kim Porter knows how to spell words. Additionally, the author of this book made a big mistake when they said in Chapter 5 that P. Diddy signed Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige was never signed to Bad Boy, and you would think that Kim Porter would know that. Now, that's just one glaring mistake that's in the book among many, but I'm not getting ready to go into all of them. Now, I can't tell you what to do, but if I was you and I purchased that book, I would return it, because I don't appreciate this white culture vulture trying to pull a wool over everybody's eyes and capitalize off of Kim Porter. I mean, this right here is just another example of how a white man swoops in and tries to get money from black people and steal from black culture. Now, I don't know whether or not Kim Porter was actually in the process of writing a real book, like Albie Shaw has suggested, but what I do know is that this book ain't it. And I know, somebody's gonna come in the comment section and say, nah, Sauce, I read the book, and it's real because there are mad legit facts in the book about Kim Porter. You know what I have to say about that? Of course there are some real facts in a book about Kim Porter, because you can find those facts in any interview that she did when she was alive in magazines like Essence, and every good liar knows that in order to sell a lie, you gotta mix it with the truth. Listen, let me say this. If this dude was actually legit and he created this book based off of Kim Porter's original notes, then he would be upstanding and honest enough to give a percentage of the book's proceeds to Kim Porter's children to make sure that they were straight. Did he do that? Absolutely not. This dude wrote the book and is pocketing all of the proceeds for himself, which is another reason why I would return the book, because it's nothing more than shenanigans, and unfortunately, all this does is muddy the waters with falsehoods during a time when Diddy's real victims are out here trying to get justice. Just think about it. Once Diddy's attorneys debunk this book, it simply makes it easier to accuse his victims of also lying about their alleged abuse that they suffered at the hands of Diddy. Now, I know somebody's gonna be out there like, yo, Source, why you caping for Diddy? Listen, if you know this channel, then you know darn well that I go after P. Diddy like the best of them. But I also respect hip-hop and hip-hop culture, and I'm not getting ready to let this snake oil salesman sully the culture. Nah, son, it's not going down like that. Listen, let me know what you think about the new salacious Kim Porter book called Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, that Chris Todd, aka Todd Christopher Goose, aka Jamal T. Midwood, published and said was based on Kim Porter's original notes. Do you think it's real or do you think it's fake? And also, if you already purchased the book, do you plan on keeping it or do you plan on returning it for a refund like a whole bunch of people already have? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.